Imagine a civilization so advanced that it had running water, multi-story palaces, and a navy that dominated the entire Mediterranean, over 4,000 years ago. A civilization so powerful that even the ancient Greeks feared them and turned them into myth. Yet today, most people have never even heard their name. This is the story of the Minoans, the world's first naval empire, and the forgotten people who built the foundation of Western civilization itself. Around 3000 BC, on the sun-scorched island of Crete in the eastern Mediterranean, something extraordinary began to take shape. A people we now call the Minoans settled this rugged island and quickly realized something that would change history forever. The sea was not a barrier. The sea was a highway. Crete sits at the crossroads of three continents, Africa, Asia, and Europe, and the Minoans used this position with breathtaking strategic genius. They were not named after any king or founding figure they left us. The name Minoan actually comes from the legendary King Minos, a name the ancient Greeks gave to the rulers of Crete. Whether Minos was a real person or pure mythology, we still do not know for certain. What we do know is that by around 2700 BC, these people were building something no civilization had ever attempted before. A thalassocracy. A rule of the sea. Their early villages grew into complex urban centers. Their simple boats became fleets. And their island, once just a rocky landmass in the middle of the sea, became the center of the known world. By 2000 BC, the Minoans had entered their golden age, and what they built would leave archaeologists speechless when it was finally discovered in the early 1900s. The Palace of Knossos was not just a palace. It was a city within a city. Covering over 20,000 square meters, it had over 1,300 rooms, indoor plumbing with clay pipes, advanced drainage systems, and walls covered in breathtaking frescoes of dolphins, bulls, and acrobats frozen in motion. Let that sink in. Indoor plumbing. In 1700 BC, most of Europe would not see that technology again for another 3,000 years. But the real source of Minoan power was not stone and mortar. It was trade. Minoan ships sailed to Egypt, to the Levant, to Anatolia, to mainland Greece, and to the distant islands of the Aegean. They exported olive oil, wine, pottery, and textiles. They imported gold, copper, ivory, and ideas. Their merchants were not just traders. They were ambassadors of a culture so refined, so artistic, and so confident that it radiated outward and transformed every civilization it touched. The Minoans also had something remarkably unusual for the ancient world. Evidence suggests that women held significant social status. Frescoes show women presiding over religious ceremonies, participating in sport, and holding positions of visible power. This was a society that, by ancient standards, was astonishingly progressive. And then, without a single conquering army ever defeating them in open battle, the Minoans vanished. Around 1450 BC, the Minoan civilization collapsed in what historians still debate as one of history's great mysteries. The most dramatic theory points to the volcanic eruption of Thera, modern-day Santorini, just 110 kilometers north of Crete. This eruption, one of the most powerful in human history, would have sent tsunamis crashing into Minoan coastal cities and covered the island in volcanic ash, destroying crops and poisoning the land. Weakened and destabilized, the Minoans may have fallen prey to invasion by the Mycenaeans, the warlike Greek civilization rising on the mainland. By 1400 BC, Knossos itself was burned, and the Minoan world was over. But what they left behind was not silence. It was a blueprint. The Mycenaeans absorbed Minoan art, religion, writing systems, and seafaring knowledge. That knowledge passed to classical Greece. Classical Greece gave it to Rome. Rome spread it across Europe. The very civilization you live in today carries the DNA of these forgotten island people. Their labyrinthine palace at Knossos may have inspired the legend of the Minotaur, a monster at the center of a maze. And perhaps that is fitting. Because the Minoans themselves are at the center of a maze we are still trying to solve. Their writing system, called Linear A, has never been deciphered. Their gods remain nameless to us. Their full story is still locked away in time, waiting to be discovered. The Minoans prove that the most powerful force in history is not an army. It is culture, trade, and the courage to sail into the unknown. They were the first. They were the greatest of their age. And the world forgot them. Now you know. If you want to discover more forgotten empires, lost civilizations, and the hidden history they never taught you in school, subscribe to Kadim World for more hidden history.